We're live! Hello everybody! Welcome back. Welcome back to me as well, to the live stream. I'm sorry I'm a little late. As you can see, we have a bit of a new UI thingy that I want to try out. And of course, well, I started way too late on that. So that's cool. Anyway, since we're not doing NaNoWriMo anymore, I figured there wasn't really much of a point to... why can't I hear the music? There wasn't really any point to, what do you say, to have the progress bar, which is now supposed to be up here, which was here, you know, where we could follow our progress because we didn't really have a goal. And I talked to a good friend of mine who was like, you know what, it was really cool to watch the stream, but I had no idea where you were in the story, so I figured I'd place a little summary thingy. So this is chapter 12, this is where we are, and then there's a summary, a really, really short summary, which is very difficult of all the other chapters, and it should proceed to like chapter 13, where we will be in the hero's journey. So that's the little thing you can see in the brackets down there. Yep, that's cool. I don't know, I hope it's cool. Let me just get this up and going. Boom. Okay. And then we pin that message, and it is still... The chat seems to be working. I hope everything is working. I want everything to be working. Because, well, I'm back. So I hope I don't have to... and then as I say that, I realize I forgot my water, which is supposed to be right here next to me. Oh my god, can you believe we're 10 days where I haven't streamed? And everything is just a mess. Of course it's a mess. God dang it. I'll also be honest that I don't remember where we are in... Well, I do remember where we are in the story, but I haven't progressed through the story at all since I last streamed for you guys. I basically put this on a shelf and waited until I was ready to live stream again. Had some stuff to take care of, and of course I wanted it to be Monday, so that didn't happen. And I'll tell you why, and it's weird because I've never had that before, but as I was setting up this new UI thingy, I sort of started feeling nauseous and got a headache, as I wrote in the chat. In the pre-live chat. That wasn't fun. And I was like, okay, I had a job interview yesterday morning, so instead of, you know, instead of actually going through with the live stream and feeling sick and probably it will be a bad product, I was like, maybe not risk it and go to bed early, get up for a good and have a good job interview, which it went well. So hoping, fingers crossed, that something might come of that. I am very interested to see how this new UI goes. I can tell you that YouTube Studio has got a new backend UI that I was very confused about, but it looks great. Yeah, not much to say. This new UI, like I mentioned, I'm curious if it's too much text, because when the chat hopefully gets filled, I guess we could put this down here. I don't know. It's just really blocky and texty over here, but it might be okay. It might be all right. I hope so, at least. Okay, so we are in chapter 12, I believe. If we go here, you guys can see my daily word count. And I guess we would now be on day 40 actually, because nothing has happened here. So I guess we'll have a little fun here, there. There's lots of these that don't actually matter anymore. And I think this needs to go down here. Yes, there we go. These of course don't matter because those are bar height. So, and I have removed the bar at least for now. So I'm still going back and forth whether or not I want the progress bar. Maybe we'll just keep it for now. But yeah, we are on day 40 technically of this first draft. We are on here we are. Yeah, I'm in the same document over in another browser. Test allies and enemies. We're introduced to nature healing, and we're supposed to be introduced to spirit healing as well, which is quite dangerous. And then spirits being chained to objects. Vespers in the Catacombs being minted by Renaith. I wrote 2 out of 3. I think that's going to be just 2 out of 2 actually. Also, in light of how long this is going to become, this book. Vesper's learning about Fey and healing abilities, nature. Using nature, Fey and healing isn't blazed water, and that's pagan. Though I don't know if that should be a point here or in another chapter, or maybe in the next book, right? Some history about Battle of Dying Light. There's none to light tension here. So, where is this? Let's have a bit of a read, shall we? And before I forget, I will indeed. Oh yeah, I messed up with the. I messed up with my. With this web camera when we go here. Should probably fix that. So transition here, and then this one. Reset. You don't need to see all this. I'm terribly sorry that I am doing it live, but it sort of needs to be done. And that's because it's locked. Should be fast enough. Flip and there we go. There we go. Now everything is much better. Okay. Okay, let's have a bit of a read before we go into to getting right back at it. Things. So Vesper, of course, is doing. Vesper, of course, is doing the healing training, magic training. Hey, Miri is here. Hi, I've missed you. Thank you so much. How have you been? Been a bit up and down. There's been stuff to take care of in my personal life, and it was nice to have a little bit of a break, actually, from streaming and figuring stuff out. And then I had a job interview yesterday, which went well. So, you know, ups and downs, but that's the way of life, I guess. How have you been? I hope you've been doing well. Yes. Okay, so it's very much about feeling the stream of energies and things. Vesper has a branch with her that she's sort of using to heal her arm that's been bruised. And she's sort of relying on the training that she got from a fire with her water magic, a blessed water magic. Yes. I'm not quite sure how we're going to do this. I need to be very... Since I've changed up where I am on the... on the screen. Hello. There I am. Just need to make sure that you guys can see when we're on the last lines here. So... Okay, we'll figure it out. It's all good. Okay, we'll start here. Oh, okay, I have it. Vesper announced in between breaths. Already, I am impressed, Renate excitedly announced. Vesper felt a great deal of accomplishment as the spirit praised her. Now, direct the flow up into your fingers, he continued. Vesper was unsure how to do that, and suddenly felt Renate's instructions very unclear. But there was no other way than to just try, she thought. She started by imagining herself pulling on the flow, as if it was a rope. Vesper pulled on it with all of her might, her muscles flexed throughout her entire body, her teeth grinding as she became more and more strained. But no flow crept into her fingers. At least there was nothing of feeling there. And now her bruised arm hurt even more. Maybe she could imagine herself. So this one is a bit interesting. Okay, it still works. I was about to say it's interesting to see if this will work the first time, but it did since it hasn't been used in 10 days. Pushing the flow from the branch and into her own fingers. It was worth a shot. And so Vesper imagined just that the flow of the branch was somehow a big box that could be pushed on the black stones of the catacombs. Same thing happened though. Her muscles flexed as her concentration went hard, her breath turning heavier and heavier, her heart starting to gallop, the pain. No feeling of flow in her fingers, not even a little bit. Can you feel it into your fingers, Renate asked. He didn't actually ask apparently, because there's no question mark here. Okay, there we are. It was the first sound in a while that Vesper heard, besides Lemon's chatter of course, and the howling wind at the ceiling or the stream below the catacombs. No, Vesper had to admit with a long exhale, followed by much smaller inhales in a rapid succession. It's like, no matter what I do, I just can't. A sudden idea formed in her head as she listened to the stream from somewhere below the black floor. Yes, Renate asked patiently, ready to help. You just can't what? But Vesper didn't answer. In fact, she hardly noticed the spirit's voice as it came from nowhere and everywhere. Her focus was fully on the idea that had flowed into her mind. What if she didn't use her strength, imaginary or otherwise, but instead let it gently be directed, like it was a stream of water, like it was indeed, like it was indeed like what Affair said about the blessed water. If she could find a point where the flow naturally exited from the branch, she could easily let it into her fingers from there. And there, of course, was such a point on the branch. Miri said, I'm doing well. I'm in a good flow with my story lately. Oh, that is so nice to hear. It's so good to hear that you're keeping it up. And it's so good to have you here while you're keeping up the good flow. So that's awesome. Awesome! How far are you? How much have you been doing these last 10 days, if I may be so bold to ask? Almost frantically. That's the word I have a little bit of problem with. Frantically. Damn it. Vespa directed her fingers to the cut where the branches flow steadily return from less and less. I think this needs to be a comma. Yeah, it is a weird sentence. Thank you, past me. If she wouldn't have been so focused on the idea and task at hand, she would probably have been a little impressed by her own ability to dodge the thorns without looking. There it was, the wet patch of wood, cold to the touch as her fingers found it. The flow escaping with less returning. Vespa's forehead furrowed. Her mind thinking more gentle ways of directing a stream, much farther from the forceful ways before. Now, Vespa imagined herself attempting to divert the flow with her hands, and with her entire body. Well, there was no flexing of muscles now. None of her force. Wow, you can really see that this was the last the last couple of lines before NaNoWriMo ended. So many words missing. Oh, you finished three tab? I can't speak. It's been 10 days. It's only been 10 days and I lost all ability to do anything. You finished 3 chapters, Miri. That is amazing. So good to hear. Awesome. Well done. Yeah. Well, there was no flexing of muscles now, none of her force. Her body still responded in much the same way, and she was starting to feel the wear. But she didn't stop trying to direct the flow of life, as Renaid had called it. The flow that tingled in her fingers, the flow that she so desperately wanted to. Tingling in my fingers, Vespa realized all of a sudden. Was it really what she thought it was? Vespa could hardly get a word out due to excitement and a little bit of tiredness. I think I got it, she practically yelled, Lemon almost jumping out of being... Okay, that's also weird. Almost jumping out of being startled. That's not how you say things. What.jpg? Though he soon began his chirping again, realizing what was going on. And that was where we ended NaNoWriMo. So, pick up the pen for the first time in 10 days. This is weird. This is very strange. I don't know why, but it's quite weird. I will say I have been writing other things these last days. I've been doing some. Well, I worked on this, figuring out what most of the next chapters should be about. I just need the epilogue, return with the elixir, and the resurrection now, which is the climax of the story. So that's something I've been working on. I've been working on digitizing Want, among other things, my 4th short story, and another secret short story that I'm hoping to show you guys whenever that's ready. So it's not like I have been doing nothing writing-wise. I just haven't been doing this. Anyway, why don't we just go? So I feel like Renaid should probably Wonderful. Wonderful. A cheery Rena cheered. And we're off. In case you didn't know. Sounded. So this is a bit weird as well, I think. We'll fix it in post. I never doubted. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Actually, I do need my water, so I'll be right back. Here we are. Okay. Completely forgot how dry my mouth goes when I'm live streaming, so that's cool. Vespa could feel the proudness rise within her. Or maybe it was the flow of life. It was the flow of life. From the branch. It was difficult to tell. Difficult to tell. That's supposed to be a T, not an F. El Cuervo is here. It's been some time. Yes, it has. Welcome, dude. It is good to have you back. It's very, very nice. I hope you're doing well. Now, as we talked about, of course, I ain't got much time, but it's nice to be here. It is so good that you just felt like stopping by. Thank you so much. How did your exams go? Or if you're done with them? Renee held a short break. Oh, we got the last one tomorrow. Well, fingers crossed for that one. How about the others? Did they go all right? Now, as we talked about, Renee held a brief pause. In case Vespa lost the feeling of flow again. Feeling again. They went nice, says El Cuero. 7th and 8th. Nice, that's cool. Without having any idea how your grading system works in Spain. But congrats, since you said that it's nice. We have a weird system in Denmark. We're graded on from -3 to 12. And it goes -3, 00, 02, 4, 7, 10, and 12. It's weird. It was supposed to be like a compromise between the old system, which was from 0 to 13, and then something that could be internationally translated, while keeping weights of the different grades. So yeah. The fuck? Yeah, I know, it's weird. So like 12 would be your highest mark. That is super odd. It's weird. And like just the fact that you can be worse than 0, I find that really, really funny. So 2 is the pass grade, and 12 is, of course, the highest mark, highest grade. -3 is supposed to be given for not participating in the exam, not showing up. So, you know, you can't really get it if you're like there. You can still fail, but yeah. I don't know. I've never seen anyone get a -3. So. But yeah, it's supposed to be this compromise between the old scale and something that could be translated into international scales. I'm not saying it's a good one. I was lucky enough to be the guinea pig year for high school. All those years ago. It's fucking 20 years ago almost. And they're going to redo it next year or next year again to something that makes more sense, I think. So, yay for me who got to suffer through that. And the 20 other generations or years that I got that. That was cool. There is a meaning to it, though. I will say that. I always forget it because it's super complicated, but there is a meaning to the numbers. And like, the 00, for example, is so you can't change it to 10 by putting a 1 in front of it, because it has a 00. And 02 is so you can't change the grade 2 into a 12. But then everything is digital in Denmark, so it's like, what? Well, most things are digital, and they were back then as well. Since that didn't seem to happen. The spirit continued. The spirit continued. Okay, so I don't think this semicolon should really be here. Okay, so I see a problem with my new UI, and that is if I want to show, I guess I could lower myself in the corner, make myself smaller. But if I want to show both this here, then the new UI is blocking over here. That's interesting. You know what? I can do it like this. Just a smidge. There we go. And then I can copy that. I can go in here. And yes. Okay, and now it should also be the same. All good. Okay, so that's a little bit better, I think. I'm not important anyway. Yes, that's much better actually. Because now you guys can see for the UI, and well, I block a little bit of the number, but it's not really important. And we can lift up like this. Okay. It feels like I am back in the beginning days of NaNoWriMo of November, where I was sort of feeling things out, you know, and testing stuff, changing stuff a little bit. Okay, things seems to be working all right over here. Let me go like that. That's all good. Ah, you're very important, says Miri. Ah, thank you. Thank you. I prefer you on the other side. Yeah. I mean, I'm not... This might be something like this that I'm going with, the UI. But I might change things up as well. It was mostly to get that summary over here. So it sort of made sense to have it in a block beneath the chat, because that's blocky as well, and I don't really use this area of the webcam. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try stuff out in the future, but for now we're just gonna do it like this. Because I do think it is important for potential new people to know where we are in the story and what's going on. If they make sense, the small 2-sentence summaries, I don't know. It's a little bit more for the current chapter, but we'll see. Maybe you just have to get used to me being on this side, though. You know, that could be. Spirit continued, and how does he continue? You know what? It also feels strange that that there's no goal. There's no... I know we did that last 3 days of streaming in November, which felt great, but just, you know, I still had this, okay, I still want to have the same pace going, which I guess I still do now as well, but I don't feel like I have to write stuff necessarily. I don't feel like I have to put down the words. And if I want to change things up in my background documents, I'll do that on live stream as well. So it's good. It's good. I will say, like, I think, okay, today is probably going to be 3.5 hours ish. And then from next week, I want to be streaming Mondays and Wednesdays. For 4 hours from 8 to 12 to midnight here in Denmark. That's the idea anyway. Okay, I needed to find where Renee said feel the flow, let it become part of my body. course through my body, become one with it, right? Yes, indeed, that is what I would like you to attempt. How did you know? Okay, so let's go with that. You know what I've just realized? We could have this chapter. So I could still be on this side. And then we could have the story so far and the chapter on this down here. The only problem is I don't get the call to actions then of like this and subscribe and all that jazz. Yeah, it's fine. Sorry. I'm talking too much about how I want the stream to look when I should be talking about how I want the words to look or be. Let it course through you. Whoa. Through. That's fine. Come on. Course through you. Oh, it's been so long since we've done cursive. Starting. There we go. Starting with your arm. Miri says, I like when you ramble. I know I can get distracted. It's good. No, it's good. It's good to know that some people enjoy my ramblings. That's nice. You've come to the right place if we learned anything from the past 30 days. Well, in November. Oops, the image of the image of itself. I wanted to avoid going Vespa in another start of a paragraph. Miri says, I'm here because I enjoy listening to your thought process. Nice. You know what? I need to get back into things, but I actually do enjoy talking, going through my thought process out loud. It's a bit like a ramble is incoming. It's a bit like what's called rubber ducking in coding programming. There's this thing like when you can't get your code to work, you say it out loud to a prop you're holding could be a rubber duck. So you talk the rubber duck through out loud what the code is supposed to be doing. And just the process of doing that unveils solutions. It's actually a phenomenon. It's pretty funny, and it works. The little coding I've done, that simple act works, and just this here as well, saying out loud to you guys what I think, what I want to be doing. It actually do help with the mental blocks, the writing blocks, the naming, whatever we did during the NaNoWriMo. I don't remember if I've done that before, talking about rubber ducking, but I'm gonna write it down here. Rubber ducking. Rubber ducking. The image of herself directing the stream of life. Changed a little. Changed a little. As the spirit, the spirit. Change a little as the spirit, something. Told her the next step. Told her the next step. Now Vespa imagined herself. Now Vespa imagined herself standing in the middle of the stream. Her one hand. Oh, that was the end of page 158. Yay! New page. Mary says, oh, you play around with code. That is cool. It's something I like to get into myself. Well, it was a part of my education back when I was young, and back when I was young and had hope for life. I did very little coding. I have a Bachelor of Science in Meteorology, it's called, and part of that were trying to code in Java, in C++, and another language that I don't remember. And I barely got by because, well, I don't know. I can look at a code and sort of understand what's going on, but if I have to make it myself, I'm just like, I block out. I don't know what's going on or what I have to do to start, and I don't care about it really. So yeah. But as I said, that was 10 years ago. But I didn't actually say that. But I've said it now. That was 10 years ago. So it's not like I've been doing anything since. I do have a little bit of a dream of making like, you know, Undertale-ish game within my universe. So like a solo developer type of thing. That could be fun. But first, I want to do the books. I do have one advice though. If you ever want to get into coding, don't start out by making your own thing. And I know that sounds weird, but look up tutorials on YouTube, on the webs, whatever, and just follow whatever they're doing for a little bit, just so you get a feel for it, just so things work, just so you make something, and then transition into smaller projects, and then transition into something that you actually want. I know that takes a long time, and I think that sort of works for most things. I feel like it worked for me as well with my short stories and background stuff first that no one should see, and then short stories that I wanted people to see and read, and now books. So, you know, you sort of lean yourself into it, get the ropes, get the ideas, get the logic behind it, and then do something bigger and bigger. I think that's a good way of doing things. Oh yeah, I just realized. I was like, why did I even? This has nothing to do with coding, but I just saw over here the 5A, 5B. That's because I just sort of realized that. It's because these two is supposed to be 2 chapters, but they're just 1 chapter right now in my book. That's right. That's why we call them 5A and B. Anyway, her one hand submerged. Submerged into into the flow. It was difficult to describe. What exactly the flow was, because it wasn't water, because it wasn't water. But the feeling was still pleasant. The feeling was still pleasant. clear send. Comfortably warm to what on earth is going on here? Comfortably warm to the touch. Oh my god. If it indeed was something to be touched, if it indeed was something you could touch. As it flowed so gently in between and through, her fingers and through her fingers. Sorry about that. I am always tired. But Vespa didn't know. Oh, that was terrible. Terrible handwriting. Vespa didn't know of any other way. To describe it, I don't know if words. Any other ways to describe it? So in her imagination, it was like the flow. I'm not sure of this paragraph even, but whatever. I'm gonna write it. In her imagination. Stream of water running through a forest, running through, what's supposed to say running, no one could read that, running through. The forest on a nice summer's day. Wow. Day. With lemon. Shattering from the branches of a nearby tree, from the branches of a nearby yeah, it's a bit of a weird paragraph. I feel like sort of reiterating what we already wrote, right? Weird. Mira says, geez, I'm so tired today. Work this morning was exhausting. Oh, I can imagine. I mean, you work in retail, right? And oof, this is a terrible time. It must be for retailers. First you have Black Friday, Black Week, maybe even. And then you have the Christmas shopping afterwards. When did you have to meet? Was it not the graveyard shift, was it? But oh, you're working food service. Oh, okay, that was it. Sorry. It's still the same, isn't it? Like, it's bound to be lots of stuff going on around Christmas time. I myself have my own little decoration here. A little church that I got from my grandmother before she passed away. There's some lights in it. Oh! And then I've decorated my apartment with, for the first time, I actually have, whoa. I have a huge splotch on my hand. But for the first time, I actually have a, what's it called, a Christmas tree in my apartment. I usually only have that at my parents' house. But yeah, this year I had enough space for it. Woo! From 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. So it was the graveyard shift. Holy smokes. I wouldn't even call that the morning shift. My work is actually, food service sucks around holidays. My work is actually open on Christmas. Oh no. Oh my god. From 2 to 10. Holy smoke. That is actually the graveyard shift. I know I just said that, but Had to get it out of my system one more time. I think I found the reason why you're tired. Since you're working night shifts. I need a Christmas tree. Yeah, I just bought this plastic Christmas tree and some plastic ornaments just to sort of get started. And you know, it's nice, it's cozy. Even though I'm just me in my apartment, so. Oh my god, there's glitter everywhere on my finger. Because of that church. And now there's glitter everywhere on my book and on my on my fountain pen. Oh wow. She took a couple of deep breaths. Another couple, another couple of deep breaths. As she stood there right in the middle of the stream. Stood there. Right in the middle of the stream. Before leaning down slightly, submerging her arm into the flow, It immediately went up. Went up into the right arm. So of course we now have arm twice in two sentences. That's really weird. Without Vesper having to do much more. Having to do much more. Maybe the image of her in the stream wasn't such a bad idea after all in the stream. Wasn't a terrible idea at all. Terrible idea at all. Miri says, look, I made myself get up to be here in the stream. I really missed chatting with you. The days you were gone, it felt like something was missing, but I'm happy that I finally passed the 50-hour words. Oh, Miri, that's so sweet of you. Oh my god. I did miss it as well. The first couple of days especially. That was so weird not having to... I mean, I guess I could. But I also felt like I needed the break. But not having to sit down and chat to you guys. It's great. But I'm happy that I finally passed 50,000 words. That is such an achievement. Well done. Well done. A little bit of clap. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to try to have twice a week live streams, because that's something I think I can maintain even when I hopefully get a job. And then I want to do a little bit more long form content videos as well. So it's not just going to be all live streams, and well, I need to get back on the short form video grind as well. So yeah, that's why I'm going to do 2 live streams a week, and I hope that's okay. I am going to start a little bit, like, the plan is to start here around 8 o'clock my time, which is, you know, a little bit better for you guys in the US, I hope. But yeah. I'm probably not going to be much more than 4 hours though, either way. Terrible idea after all. And then she's gonna say like, woo, this is amazing. Yahoo! I can feel it. I really can. I can feel it. I really can. Vesper exclaimed. Eyes still closed. As she sat on her knees, Pretty sure she does. Check. In the damp catacombs, in the damp catacombs. But the flow seems to be getting a little weaker. But the flow, she said, and stopped mid-sentence. She said and stopped mid-sentence. Here says breaks are good. I'm glad you got it. I'll be here regardless, no matter the format. Thank you. It means a lot. It really does. And it's honestly also just so exciting listening to what you guys are doing and how well you're doing. Listening to you guys being motivated, that motivates me as well. So that's awesome. What about the flow? What about? Renate asked, thinking he might already know the answer. He might already know. What? The little girl? No, not the little girl. That sounds like it's a little girl from my other story. Vesper was about to say. Yeah, I still would love a Discord server so we can all keep up with each other. It's a really good idea. I do think that we need a bit more of a community to have a Discord server. But hopefully we'll get there. Also, I know because I'm not the most online person on stuff like Discord and so on. It's usually... I usually go on Discord when I'm going gaming with my buddies. That's pretty much it. But you know, that could change. So yeah, the idea is definitely on my radar. Maybe we can find others in the authortube sphere of YouTube and join a Discord with them, or make a Discord with them. That could be kind of fun. Have like a little writers collective. What was I about to say? Sorry, I just had some ideas for the UI as I was looking at it. Yeah. It's alright. Her furrows grew deeper on her brow. Maybe the furrows? The seem to be is it waning? But would a 12-year-old know the word waning? Waning. No, wait, no, not benign. Okay, Okay, so it is waning. But what do we have? Waning. Seems to be weaker. Declining, weakening, fading. Fading is probably a good word. Seems to be fading. Fading somehow. Vespa became a little anxious. Anxious about the fact that she might be losing her feeling that she might already, well, she might already be losing her feeling. Things were just going so well. Things were just going so well. Mm-hmm. Sorry. I'm not even that tired. Watch me when I'm done here. Watch me go to bed and just be like, oh, I can't sleep now. I've done that so much lately for some reason. So weird. Well, okay. I did run 18 kilometers today, so okay. I guess I am tired for a reason, actually. How could I forget about that? But it was a good run. Definitely. And became a little anxious. Yes. It tends to do that. Tends to do that. The spirit said in vague terms. Vague terms. What do you mean? So this whole, I need to remember this whole stream of water, standing in a stream of water. It's actually, I quite like that analogy. Because he's going to do the same later. So after, she's going to be healing her arm a little bit. The branch is going to be fading. Maybe am I a little too much? Oops, that's no. And that one. There we go. Sorry about that. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, this stream of water. We're going to be reusing that later when Vespa is going to be using her own life force instead of that of a branch to save Lemon, who is going to be deadly injured towards the end. And that's where they'll spirit bind. Yeah, so after she has successfully healed some of the bruises on her arm, Vespa is going to be told about the fact that you can do it with your own spirit as well. But that she shouldn't do it because it means, just like the branch, her life force, her life expectancy will fade as well. Yes. Yes. A speck. I don't know about that word, but we're gonna go with it. A speck of panic. Could be heard in Vespa's voice. If one listened closely, one listened closely. Hey, we're almost at the very first page. 4 lines away after NaNoWriMo. Woo! Listen closely. The flow of life. The flow. I need to go to the bathroom, but I also want to just finish this first page. Flow of life. The spirit said. Spirit answered. Right now, you are a different word for sucking. You're sucking it out of the branch. Drawing it. Yeah, you're draining it. Probably draining. That sounds. Siphoning is also a good one, but probably draining. Let's go with draining. You're draining it. Draining it from the branch. which is slowly withering. Which is slowly withering. Withering in your hand. That's supposed to be an R. But don't look. But don't look. So that's of course supposed to be cursive as well. How do we show that? Sorry. Cursive. But don't look. Vesper jumped a little. Actually, both Vesper. Both. And lemon. Oh, is lemon not still sitting on the handle? That's probably something we should check up on. Who was still sitting on the handle? On the handle of the Warhammer. Handle of Warhammer. Jumped at Rena's outburst. Still sitting on the handle. Check up on that. Vesper also felt a little embarrassed, so felt a little embarrassed, as she had indeed. Been close to opening her eyes. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't know. Close to opening her eyes. To look at at the branch. Okay, that was definitely a new one page. So I'm just gonna have a quick break as I go to the bathroom. Be right back. Yep, still got that one. Yo, we're back. French. We don't want our concentration to break, do we? Rhetorically asked. Here. Here on my fountain pen, my ink pen. don't want our concentration to break. Do we now? Do we? Reina. Oh my god, that was terrible. Reina asked rhetorically. Rhetorically. No E there. All right. No. No, of course not. Of course. The shy answer. Came from Vespa. She did something. I lost my train of thought again. Wonderful. Isn't that just marvelous? I also just realized that my green screen is way more behind me than it usually is. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. Sorry, just had to fix something. No, of course not. The shy answer. She closed her eyes even more. She closed her eyes even harder to make sure that she wouldn't accidentally open them again. She was curious about the branch, though. She was curious about what the branch looked like, though. Branch. Looked like, though. This is supposed to be an E, so everyone can see. Oops, forgot the E there. Excellent. Excellent. Now I will need you to hurry. A little bit. Hey, page 159, which means you can't see that. Means we're going to page 160. Woo! Amazing. 160. There we go. Whoop, whoop. A little bit of fanning. Fanning, not fanning. The spirit. Actually, my table is a bit too high, I just realized. New page hype. Whoop whoop. Indeed, Miri. The spirit continued. Spirit added with urge You see, the life of the branch isn't infinite. Isn't infinite. Just like our own. Though being cut off from its body means, oh, that was terrible. Terrible penmanship. Means that it gets depleted quicker. It disappears much faster. Yeah, let's go with disappears. It disappears. Much faster than it normally would. Much faster than it normally as I believe we have already discussed. Of course, I need to check out on that. As I believe that we have already discussed. We've already discussed. So onwards to the next step. to the next step. I don't know why, but X's is so weird to write in cursive. Let the flow up into my body, into my body. Vesper said, finishing the spirit sentence, finishing. Without even realizing it. Without even realizing it. Exactly. I was just thinking about, in a little bit, we're gonna have to describe, find a way to describe Vesper utilizing this flow of life from the branch into her bruised arm. Which, you know, I don't know how to say that, but I guess I guess we're just gonna continue that with the direction, with the redirecting and the feeling and all that. Very good. The spirit complemented. It's been a while since we've written from everywhere, from nowhere and everywhere at once. Complemented from nowhere and everywhere. At once. I feel like he should say something along the lines of you're losing the flow, so you need to use it. But maybe we should just have the body thing first. Yeah. Something along those lines. Vesper altered her. Vesper altered her imagination. Of the stream in the wood. Of the but only her mental image of herself. Image of herself. Yes. Man, I got really tired. Okay, I need to make sure that if I do this, then I'm outside of the frame. So I need to lean on this side now. I don't remember if I had to do that previously as well. Sorry, I'm just really tired. Ooh, maybe it wasn't such a good idea to run that long when I had to stream. Wait, I messed up. No! I messed up on this. It's chapter 12, sure, but it's not the approach to the inmost cave. We're still in test allies and enemies. Damn it. This one. We are not the approach to the inmost cave. Tests. Allies and enemies. There we go. Much better. Much better. Now it actually also makes sense with what it's saying over here. but only a mental image of yourself. Instead of just simply leaning the right arm her right arm into the stream. The branches flow of life. She almost fully submerged herself. Almost fully submerged. I was about to say submerge yourself down into it, but the word submerged always like already describes that, right? So it's a bit of a no reason to do that. With only her crimson topped head. Sorry. With only a crimson topped head. Above the water-like flow. Or that's at least what she saw it as. The flow almost instantly. Almost instantly ran. Well, we have flow, but it's always the flow. Streamed, current, fell, build? We could maybe spill. Search. Search. Let's go with search. We already have urge. Let's go with search. Instantly searched. Under her body. Like the hungry landscape as a dam is opened. That is a weird sentence, but I also kind of like it. Weird. Vesper was almost overwhelmed by it, right? Something like that. How long has this chapter been going on for, by the way? It's what I do when I lose my train of thought. Okay, there. So we're coming up on page 20, actually. Well, not, we're like 3 pages away. I think it was a good call that we're not gonna have 3 montage-like mentorships, because these are turning out to be so much longer than what I thought they would be. As they always are. Like, my initial idea was like a 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 page chapters, like these really quick, small chapters. They could still be that once we, you know, cut, edit it, and carve it the way we want to in the editing. But yeah, it's just a bit funny. The word exasperate comes to mind, and I need exasperating. It was not what I thought it would be. Okay, good to know. It was being annoying, very annoying, apparently. So Vespa is exasperating to some people, I guess. I felt a little overwhelmed at first. Flow began to make its way through her body. I was just thinking ahead in the story. Of course, we should be focusing on what we're doing right here. So, make its way through her body. The warmth embracing. Her heart, her lungs. Coursing. Coursing through and coursing through every muscle. Even those coursing through every muscle. Even those of her, even those of her bruised arm. for a little while. After almost losing her balance, almost losing her balance, balance. Even though she was sitting on her knees. Was still sitting. Oops. Still sitting on her knees. By the tomb. Tomb statue? No. It's almost sitting on blah. I guess it should be a new paragraph, maybe. Maybe. Vesper felt her achings going away. Achings. Going away. So she's sort of already in the process of healing herself, right? Even though she doesn't know it. Her breath calmer. And less erratic. Even her bruised arm felt better. Bruised arm. Didn't hurt as much. As much as the flow. As the flow of the branch is life. Made its way through his small body. Hey, Nicoletta is here. And now you can see it on the stream as well. Welcome, Nicoletta. It's good to have you. Good to see you. How's it going? I hope it's going well. Feel it. Let's be proclaimed. Let's be proclaimed. Oops. Feels good. Like I'm not as exhausted and not as tired. Much better. Not as tired. Anymore. Well, that's very good. And Nicolas says it's going well. To be honest, I didn't have the time to write for a few days. But now I'm back again and I'm happy to get back to work and write with you guys. What about you? It's good to hear, Nicoletta. And you know, life does get in the way sometime. And that's just the way of things. But good to hear that you're back at it, back on the grind. I'm doing well. Fairly well. It was nice with a little bit of a break, but it's also very, very nice to be back. Of course, I should have been back Monday, but I felt, for some reason, I began feeling nauseous as I was working on this new UI thingy. Very weird. I've never tried that before, and I was like, okay, I have a job interview tomorrow, which was yesterday, so maybe don't risk it. So I postponed it to today. But we're here, and it's good to be back. It's weird. It's great. And yeah, as Miri says, Miri has been really in the groove lately, so that is awesome. But yeah, it's so nice that you have the time to be here. Did the interview go well? It did. Thank you very much. I think it did, at least. A bit different from what I have worked with. So I worked in esports and social media and video editing. And this was a much more traditional digital marketing job. They were looking for someone who had a lot of expertise in one area and were willing to expand their knowledge base and learn in other areas. So that seemed perfect. They were really, really nice. And yeah, I should hear from them either Friday or Monday. So fingers crossed. Very good. I see. Let's not forget our little quirk of the spirits, Reina saying I see, even though we cannot see. I see that is both very good. Renee said before adding. Renee, I saw that. There's a little hair. Renee said before adding. And a little bit bad. And a little. No, little. That's great, says Nicoletta. Yes, it was pretty good. Yeah. And you know, I'm pretty sure I made an impact because I was wearing my traditional. Well, where is that actually? I should be wearing that now. My elf hat. Be right back. There we have it. Much better. There we go. Now it's Christmas. I knew I forgot about something. I knew it. I knew I forgot about something. But yeah, I was wearing this at the job interview, and the interviewer, she loved it. They had the Christmas decoration all over their office as well, so that was nice. Nice little Santa hat. Thank you. There's something weird going on with the green screen though. I don't know why it's taking the white. Let me just try to fix this setup. That do anything? No. What on earth is going on? No, still pretty bad. Why is it so shit? Whoa, what did I do? Oh, whatever. I'm gonna fix that later. It's fine. You can see through my head. It's alright. Maybe the shadow from the green screen. Yeah, it's something to do with the shadows and yeah, whatever. Something else has green. Maybe creates a hue on it. I think it's this. I think it's something with the shadows. But it's just I haven't actually encountered that problem where it's white. It's usually where it's like you say. It's the shadows. Whatever. It's all good. We'll fix it next time. That was a bit fun with the green screen. Actually, I'm gonna note that down. 0, 2, 1. Creepy. It looks like Christmas lights. Oh, actually, is it this one? Now you say Christmas light. I have this. This has a green lamp on it. No, it wasn't that. That would have been strange though, if that little green lamp was able to do anything. But yeah, let's just say it's Christmas lights. How can it be bad? Vesper asked. Her heart dropping. Slightly. Did I do anything wrong? I do anything wrong? Wait, I just sort of realized something. Oh my god. Oh, I realized what it was. I had two chroma key filters on. I had the green screen filter and I had a blue screen filter on at the same time. So it was removing the blue shadow, the bluish shadow here. God damn, because the last stream I was using a blue screen so I could have my my green Rohan shirt on. Well, you know, you live and learn. Good thing we fixed that. No. Not like that. Don't you worry. The reassurance came from Renaith. I feel like this sentence was very bad penmanship, first in cursive and then in non-cursive. But it sounds you are already using the flow of life, the branches flow of life, the branches. branches flow. In places. It sounds strange. It's also really badly written. Places. Where it's not really needed. This is where it's not really needed. Go with that. Oh. ... Yes, but wasn't quite sure how to react. Wasn't quite sure on how to react. But I don't mean to. How can I then be using the flow already? That is something. Which happens often. Which happens. Oops. Happens. When you're inexperienced, oh, that can't. Nope. Inexperienced. Saved it. Inexperienced. You are also most likely not very efficient. Using much too much. That's not how you say things. Using way too much. Using much too much. No, way too much. Way too much of the flow. This is why we must hurry. We must hurry along. The spirit. I'm not sure this should be an exclamation mark or a comma. Eagerly said, eagerly. At first, Vespa felt a little bad. First, Vespa felt a little bad. Things had been going so well. Had been going so well. And things are also going so well here, where we just finished page 160. New page hype for page 161. You can't see that. Now you can. 161. Woo! Oh yeah, we're fanning. So I sort of kind of want to at least write this third down to here. So we have written 3 pages today. It just feels like a nice number and a good number to start. Miri says, new page, let's go indeed. So yeah, let's just keep going. I did actually think I wanted to stop to end the live stream at 3 hours, which is in 10 minutes almost, basically. But let's just keep going until we hit that 3 page today. It's good. Things have been going so well. That she had maybe thought herself better than she actually was. Thought herself better than she actually was. Yeah, the biggest problem with having to reach this third page is that now we're moving into the part where we have to describe how she uses the flow to heal, how it repairs her bruised arm. Which might be a difficult one. But we're not going to shy away from that, of course. It does feel strange that we're not doing the challenge anymore. So like the NaNoWriMo challenge was all about, okay, we can't stop, we can't think too much, we just have to keep going, new words, more words, every word, you know? And now it's just like, oh, I can take a little bit of a break and think about it and maybe write something a little bit better, less rambly, right? But then again, it's just the first draft. So it's just about having fun. And I think it's actually very important to just get the first draft done. And then you can refine it afterwards. Just the whole idea of doing something and finishing it. I think that's very important when you're creative. Miri says, just up the number. You should make a new goal. It's nice to keep on track. Yeah, that's true. Maybe, yeah. Maybe we should just say like 70,000 is the new goal. I don't think I'll bring back the progress bar though, fun as it was. Maybe. No. It would make this much too small. Yeah, you should. Nicoletta says you should aim for your actual word count goal for the novel. See, that's the thing. I don't have any. Before I started NaNoWriMo, I think I mentioned that as well. But I was super scared that this story was not going to be 50,000 words, not going to be long enough. It wasn't going to be good enough for 50,000 words. I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You can have a very, very good story in a short amount of words if it makes sense, right? But I was terrified of it, to be honest. And then as we progressed, and especially towards the end, I was like, oh shit, I don't think this is going to be below 70 suddenly. Which in my case is probably like, I don't know, 50, 60 pages away. It might be. But you know, it's just to be inside that rule of thumb. Nicholas says, goes according to the genre and target group. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm leaning heavy on the 70,000 words because that's about what Harry Potter, the first one, is. And sure, it's comparing yourself to giants, but there is a lot of inspiration, and it's not the same target group that I am hoping to hit. Tweens, right? Really young adults. Miri says, for me, now that I've hit 50k, I'm aiming for my next 50k. Well, you did say your story is quite epic, right? It's going to be a bombastic book once it's done. So, you know, 100,000 words right there. Boom. Let's go. No, but it was a fun experience. Being really scared that you weren't able to even do the challenge with the story I had set up. And then suddenly realizing, wow, I don't know where this will end. I will say though, if we go into the chapters overview. So chapter 13 is going to be like this transitional chapter. Like, it's the last test allies and enemies, and the third attempt at Vesper's life by the villain. And then we go into the ending. 14. 14. Well, maybe. I guess 14 is probably not, but 15 and onwards. This is the ending of the story, right? You got the ordeal, the reward, which is like in Star Wars Episode 1 terms, because I've used that before. It's the what's happened on a Death Star. Then you have the road back to the Rebel Alliance, and then the climax happened, the resurrection, which is the battle on the Death Star. And then return with the elixir is boom, it explodes. So I feel like 15, well, I guess this is 16 then. This is 17 and 18. I feel like there's something. I feel like I missed something. All right. This would be 19 then. I feel like my you can't see that, but my little summaries here, they go up to 20 for some reason. Interesting. What is your target group, Miri? I think it does be close to 200k, so 4 groups. 200k, that is a bombastic book you have going on, Miri. It's so cool. I've said I can't explain my book on YouTube, so definitely 18 plus. Yeah. Okay, it's adults for me too, says Nicoletta. I was about to ask you about that. So I'm the only one who is writing something for kids. Wow. Well, I guess my short stories are definitely not for kids. Maybe 15 plus, but you know, you got someone who is pressed up against an insanely hot oven in one of them, a dragon, and his scales pops off like popcorn. I thought that was pretty gruesome. You got body parts of children in one of them after an explosion. Nicoletta says it's harder for kids and young adults, actually. I don't have any experience, so it could be. I don't know. It's interesting, though. I think I've said this before, but my magnum opus will be a children's book, like 10 below. That's what I aim for, and I definitely don't feel comfortable enough writing that yet. But that's just going to be a single volume book for, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds. In the something akin to the Brothers Lionheart, if you know that. This is very demanding. I guess so. I'm a little bit worried, but that's what editing is for, right? That my the way I phrase things and my wording is not tween-like. Like it's simply, maybe it's too complicated. Mir says, I think for me, I'm going to move into different types. Might even make a little picture book. Who knows? Maybe I definitely want to write a screenplay. Yeah, I think that's fun too as well. To try out different genres, right? I think that's really fun. I have ideas. So yeah, I want to write these 3 books here, which is young adult fantasy. I also want to do like a crime story, but in my fantasy universe as well. So that's most likely going to be for adults, right? But that's fun. I think that could be really fun. Also because you don't see crime books in fantasy, I feel like. A thriller could be cool to do as well. Nicoletta says, I got a degree in screenwriting. Oh, so you are an actual pro, Nicoletta. Nice. Screenplays are awesome. Definitely try it. Whatever screenplays I've made, not screenplays, but like, scripts for skits on social media, that's always been really, really fun to type that out. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, and then I got my short stories anthology. Keep making short stories. I of course have my 1-minute stories that I find really, really fun. That's something I can definitely recommend you guys try out if you ever feel like it. A story that makes sense in a minute or less. I use it as a world building tool. Those 4 I've made so far, I think. Have I made 5, 6? I made 4, definitely. But yeah, that's really, really fun. And of course, I also had in mind that it was supposed to be like watched on a phone in vertical video format, right? Short form format. But honestly, it's a pretty big challenge. Something that can be read in a minute or less. And it's a fun challenge. Definitely. That's so cool, says Miri. I would love to talk more about them with you. I would love any tidbits of wisdom you'll share. Well, okay, let's not. I don't know if I want to say it's wisdom, because I don't feel like I'm good enough. I'm not experienced enough to have any wisdom, I feel like. But sure. I would definitely love to discuss them as well. But Vespa here, she should do something. Well, okay. Then she noticed Lemon's chatter. Whoops. There was something a little different about it. Something a little different. Different about it. Almost as if he was cheering her on. The happy chatter made all the bad thoughts go away. Made all the bad thoughts go away. Oops. And Vespa realized that she was already much better. Much better. At this. Than anything her older sister had tried to teach her about the blessed water. Her older sister had attempted to teach her about the blessed water. Nicola said, my number one tip is study screenplays. I read the screenplays of your favorite films. You can find them online, mostly. That's a good... And I just realized that, Miri, you were asking about... wisdom from Nicoletta. That makes so much more sense. I'm sorry for just... for just assuming it was about me. That makes so much more sense. You're asking someone who has a degree in screenwriting. Well, don't I feel silly? Nicoletta also says screenplays are written in very specific format. But if you get used to it, using the medium's format is actually liberating. It lets you explore your ideas in unique ways. I've seen some, says Miri. I tried to write a stage play in high school, but I stopped because personal life story makes it harder to reapproach it. Yeah, sometimes there's just a hurdle you have to sort of get over without, hopefully without sounding insensitive. I will always take your wisdom too, don't feel silly. Thank you. I'll let you know when I have any wisdom to give. This is supposed to say blessed and not VS or whatever that was. So first blah 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 blah. Now the spirit said, not noticing. The hesitation that Vesper showed. Did she show hesitation? Did she? Or maybe he did. Maybe he did, but thought the best course of action. Thought the best course of action. Nicoletta says, haha, everybody has their own experiences and tips to share. Oh, you guys are so positive. It's wonderful. Thank you. Let's just have that written down actually. 3, 12. Wisdom. Wisdom, not me. course of action was to simply press on. The flow was running out. The flow of life was running out from the branch. Running out from the branch. After all. Okay. I want, oops, you to try and direct the flow back as if you reverse it. That doesn't make sense, does it? Sense. Redirect it back. Vesper asked. With some confusion. Indeed. Rena is said with confidence. But not too far. You cannot. So what's quite interesting here is I'm sort of making up my magic system in this chapter, in these chapters. sort of as I go. I'm actually quite happy with what we've done so far. People feeling, have a little bit of mystique. It's not too explained, right? It's not super specific. There's some mysticism there. But like now, it's just, I was about to say that this flow of the life, it cannot be transported back into the branch because it has already withered. You can't give life to something that's already dead. That's what I sort of wanted to say. That sounds like a good rule. And then that also sets up, because I have an idea for a plot point in a short story, or maybe in a book of some kind, of a necromancer who he's not evil, but he's sort of using necromantic powers to keep his dead wife alive. And if we've already established that, you know, you can't bring the dead back with this, I think that there's a conflict there that I think could be really interesting to explore. And also, like, okay, it showcases how powerful this necromancer would be, right? It's just a thought I had. I have no idea if that plot point is ever going to make it into a book or a short story, but it's an idea that I have floating around that I kind of really liked. Also have a whole spin on the necromancer trope, that they're always evil. I have one who's like, maybe he is using his own life, maybe he's in pain just keeping his dead wife alive. I think that could be pretty fun to explore, pretty cool. One necromancer idea. So please don't steal that. Please don't steal that idea. Cannot give life to that which is already withered, to that which has already withered. You will need to gather it. All that flow of life in your body flow of life. In your body. Into your hand. Hand. So I kind of want Vesper here to be like, why did I have to get it through my entire body if it just had to be in my hand? So a little bit of exposition, I guess. Why did I have to feel it? Oh, that's actually correct. Feel it. Through my body if I just had to use my hand, just had to use my hand. There was a clear expression of doubt. Maybe not doubt. Is doubt the okay word? No, that was the wrong one. Doubt. Doubt. Uncertainty. Skepticism is probably better. No, let's go with doubt. We have already used skepticism earlier, I think, if I remember correctly. Clear expression of doubt on Vesper's face. Even with her eyes closed. Even with her eyes closed. Excellent question, my young Padawan. Bum, 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 bum. Excellent. Excellent. Question that we do not have time for. Whoops. It's wrong. Quest. Damn it. That's better. Question. That I will try to answer. Briefly. Renee. With hurry in his voice. Well, we're getting closer to that third day marker, which is this line here. So that's good. Have I was about to say the autofocus. Is that not working? Is that on? But it wasn't. Just thought something weird looked weird for a moment. Yeah, it's definitely not on. Look at that beautiful shitty X in cursive. Wow. See, now we've streamed for 3.5 hours already, and I'm just like, I was supposed to stop here, but it's just so fun. I was like, I'm probably still not gonna stream for 4 hours, but that's because that's sort of my maximum for the live streams going forward, I think. But it's just so much fun when you're doing it, right? When you're writing, when you're actually finding that flow. I have missed this. A break was good, but I have missed it. Definitely. I'm so happy that I pulled myself up and still got it done this week. The hurry in his voice. Yes, the magical flow state. Indeed, Nicoletta. The magical flow state. It is an excellent question that I don't have the answer to. It is important. It is. That you know how to feel the flow. Not just touch it. Not just touch it or something else. Or use it. But truly feel it. And you do so. You only do so. Do so. With your entire body. If you do not feel it, there is no directing, no control. Of the flow, no control. But as you get older, no, as you get better, you will learn how to you learn how to quickly use and transfer that feeling. How to utilize the feeling better, faster, and more efficient. Faster. And more efficient. To the point where you hardly feel, to the point where you hardly recognize it. But only because be a cool ass. You know it to be there. Always. Vesper could see the logic in that. Was that? No, the next line is the third page. Vesper thought that made sense. And wished. Oh, is that the end of... Oh my god. That came out of nowhere. It's the end of the ink cartridge. Will you look at that? What an ending to a new startup live stream. Look at all those ink cartridges. This Lammy, sponsor me, please. That would be lovely. And wished that she someday would have that much confidence in herself, that much confidence in herself and her abilities. Just like a fairhead. She made a promise to herself. that she one day would. No matter the training, no matter how much training was required. Are you ready to try? Are you ready to try? Renate asked. We are running a bit out of time, flow. Bit out of time. Or flow. You know what? We're going to end it right there, you guys. At the very end of page, where do I have to go like this? Very end of page 161. That was a little over 3 pages, 1 and 2. And somewhere down. So here, yes, 3 pages is here. Do we need to have the master sort of counting? So this is supposed to be 3 pages. Let's just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 20, 30, just 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Oh, well, will you look at that? We actually have 3 pages here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we don't count. Then we don't count the next line. I'm just gonna add here. The spirit's voice. Sounded as if smiling. Of course, we want to end in the middle of a word. I haven't forgotten all of my tips and tricks. So there we have it. It was indeed 3 pages. 3 pages. And, wow, we almost did 9 pages in the last day. That was crazy. 5 lines. Boom. So 1,000 words. 1,141 words. I'm quite happy with that, if I have to say so myself. Of course I should. So, progress text, there it is. We have it. We're now at 58,675. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting when we finish and get to digitize everything, because I want to see what the actual amount of words is when that happens. Far into the future. But that was it for my small comeback live stream. Just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. As we did end up almost streaming for 4 hours today. That was not the plan, but we had fun and it was great. And yeah, please remember to like it on YouTube if you haven't already. Maybe even subscribe to me. Also, if you're watching the VOD, that would be great. I would love it so much appreciated. Thank you guys so much in the chat. You guys are amazing. I love that you want to take some time out of your busy schedule to join me and ride alongside of me. That's amazing. So thank you guys so much. I'll be back Monday for next live stream at 8 Central European time as well. And yeah. Flaze Flame is here. Hello streamers, here streamers. Sorry dude, you came at the exact wrong time. I'm sorry about that. Nicoletta says bye. I will say bye as well. Remember that we all write our own stories. Alright, bye.